A very good evening to you all and welcome to News Tonight. First, though, would like to apologize for having brought this bulletin a little bit late. It was due to some unavoidable circumstances. But now, let's have a look at our top stories. In our news tonight, police arrests 3 prime suspects in Nagirinya murder. The government to spend 1.7 trillion shillings to decongest Kampala city. Elsewhere in the world, South Sudan's rivals to meet in Juba. And in sports, records tumble as Uganda dominates weightlifting championship. Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language, it is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. Now, the Prime Minister, Dr. Rakana Rugunda, has advised Ugandans to regularly test and screen for cancer, as well as steer clear of unhealthy lifestyles. The Premier was speaking at the funeral of John Masanyu, who succumbed to cancer on Friday morning. He eulogized the deceased as a knowledgeable and responsible citizen who has left behind a good legacy. We have more in this story.
Speaking at the funeral of John Masanyu in Ruchiga district, the Prime Minister, Dr. Rakana Rugunda, has said the deceased was a man of great repute in society who raised and groomed his children into responsible, well-disciplined citizens. He said all men ought to emulate the late in order to contribute to the development of the country.
A humble man, influential man, having impact on society. And through that, niyenda kumwebaliza we n'omukyala we tuzalira abaana barungi kandi okubegeza.
The Premier also urged citizens to go for regular medical checkups for cancer.
Cancer eyatwara munywani waitu oku hatiya eriho munonga eija mu miringo mingi. Abakyara eraza mu mabeere omweze mu magufwa twena mbwena buli kicweka kyawe kyona ky'omubiri kirabaasa kukwatwa kansa. Konka kansa hatiya nayo turi kugicwera obwenge. Mwahurira hariho za kansa ezindi hatiya ezoraho mubazi zikakira. Konka kugira ngu okire kansa egyo kireetenga kuza kureba bashaho bukyari kare.
The woman member of parliament for Ruchiga district, Caroline Kamsime, asked women to be submissive to their spouses, just like Lydia Masanyu, the widow, has been to her departed husband. On her part, the widow, Lydia Masanyu, described her late husband as a loving and trustworthy man. She thanked God for enabling her to stick to her marriage vows till the death of her husband. On behalf of his siblings, Julius Muchunguzi, who is the communications advisor to the Prime Minister and the head of communication at the office of the Prime Minister, eulogized the father as a God-fearing man who instilled in his children Christian morals and also taught them the values of hard work, honesty, love, and education.
Baba atwegese ibintu byinji mwe Rwanda yabigamba ango kunga ikintu cyo kubanza no gukora ikintu cy'amazima Rwanda we yakigambaho omuryeje rya bakinda yone Masanyu niwe yabera ko inkufuru nkuko yabagambira. Baba yarakunda abana arakunda kwega no kwegesa aryo mwesigwa.
Muchunguzi thanked the Prime Minister and his office for rendering him support at his time of need. He also thanked officials from Uganda Cancer Institute for treating his father since 2008 when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. In his homily, the Diocesan Secretary of Chigezi Diocese, Reverend Canon Obed Turiho Habwe, called upon the mourners to accept Jesus Christ and have hope in him because he is the way, life, and truth in order to have eternal life. John Masanyu was laid to rest at his home in Riavirenje village, Buchinda sub-county in Ruchiga district. He is survived by a widow, 7 children, and grandchildren. The funeral was also attended by Rwanda District Member of Parliament, Honorable Musasizi government officials, the clergy, academics, and the local leaders, among other dignitaries. Doreen Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
Now to other news. Police have arrested 3 core suspects in connection to the murder of Maria Najirinya and Ronald Chitaimbwa, bringing the number of suspects to 6. Now, these were netted during a police raid carried out in Natete, a suburb of Kampala City. Now, the police spokesperson, Fred Enanga, says the suspects are being interrogated to shed more light on what they possibly know about the killings.
3 prime suspects in the double kidnap and murder of Maria Najirinya and Ronald Chitaimbwa have been netted. These were arrested in a hideout in Natete during a raid carried out by police and her sister agencies. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga says the suspects include one who was in a red jacket driving Najirinya's vehicle.
Exhibited the clothing that we recovered, and we are now trying to interrogate them further to find out how they targeted Najirinya Maria and Chitaimbwa Ronald, and also get up a timeline of events from the point of kidnap, how they moved with these 2 victims.
The latest arrests bring to 6 the number of suspects so far netted in this double murder. Enanga applauds the sister agencies and assures the family of their commitment to ensure justice prevails.
We want to assure the family and all Ugandans that we have the right suspects. This brings the number to 6. Remember, we had 2 border-borders and 1 suspect whom one of the border-borders indicated.
However, the first 7 suspects who were detained for obstructing arrests are to be charged for obstruction. Relatedly, police have ruled out suicide in the double murder of Joshua Nteire Horuhejera and Tumukunde Merina that occurred along Entebbe Express Highway.
Because when you look at the bullet, the injuries that Merina got, she got a bullet wound through the right-hand side of the neck. And it came out from this side between the mouth and the ear. So which means the bullet came through the lower neck upwards in that direction. So which means there was somebody probably on the what? On the right-hand side. We are also ruling out the fact that Joshua could have probably shot himself dead. When you look at the entry of the bullet, it came from the left-hand side of the head, this other side. If you are to commit suicide, you don't carry the gun in this direction.
Enanga says the investigating team is still carrying out extracts to track the movement using footage captured by the CCTV cameras. So far, Police Constable Atwijukire Wilson, PC Mugole, and Tarema Davis are in police custody. Tarema will be charged of negligence of duty. Thursday double murder occurred on Nambigirwa Bridge along Entebbe Highway in Impala. Mutanyi Hilda, UBC.
Now, government will spend $460 million US, which is approximately 1.7 trillion Ugandan shillings, to decongest Kampala City. The Director of Transport in the Ministry of Works and Transport, Benon Kajuna, confirms the development, saying the cost will include the purchase of buses and construction of dedicated lanes. Here is our reporter, Adiana Kuti with more.
The challenge of traffic jam in Kampala City is growing day by day, and the situation is worse during peak hours. This is because of the high rate of motorization and the growing private car ownership. The 2016 report on policy challenges in urban transport and infrastructure by Kampala Capital City Authority indicates that the current roads were designed for less than 100,000 vehicles in the 1960s. By today, city roads accommodate over 400,000 vehicles. On several occasions, authorities have talked of having an efficient public transport system by introducing large volume carriers like buses, but the promise has never been realized. Now the Ministry of Works and Transport is reawakening the plan of decongesting Kampala by introducing buses.
And this is by setting up the mass bus transit, which is the BRT. And so far we have done the designs of the roads where these buses will be able to pass. And the first pilot study or the first pilot route is from Zana to the city center. Then you have a spur to Beogirere, another spur to Gayaza. The main objective is to bring in bigger buses, and these buses will be having dedicated lanes. These dedicated lanes will be able to make the buses move faster, efficiently, so that the people who are using the buses can be able to move comfortably.
It means that we will have more people attracted to this system because they can plan with it. They will choose this system if it's more efficient compared to choosing a private car, which is a major cause for traffic congestion. It's also very good because the idea of road expansion all the time to reduce traffic congestion, it never works. The more roads we construct to facilitate the private car to move, the more congestion we actually attract. So it's very important that this measure of public transport is implemented the way it should be.
But how soon will this promise be a reality?
We are in negotiations with World Bank. So far, we expect the negotiation to possibly take about 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. And if we get the funding within 6 months, then we shall be able now to start on the construction of the roads, dedicated lanes, and also the procurement of the buses. And possibly now within the next 1 year, we should be having the buses in Kampala.
However, the question is how the private taxi owners will be involved, since they are the major players in the public transport sector.
Of course, we are working hand in hand with the owners of taxis. We want to make sure that these buses are also in a way owned by the taxi owners, because these taxis should be able to feed into these buses. So we are actually in consultation with them to see how best we can be able to work together. We are actually trying to improve a transport service with the owners of taxis.
Good move there, but implementation is where the big question mark is. Now, some business people downtown Kampala have urged tycoons to increase investments in construction of arcades because the new buildings have provided employment and space. However, the low-income earners said these new buildings are expensive and unaffordable, urging government to come up with a policy on rent fees in different locations of the city.
The bus park that was located in downtown Kampala, commonly known as Bus Zabaganda, is no more. Construction of an arcade known as Pentagon City Plaza is in progress in its place. This is not the only infrastructure that has been destroyed, pave way for construction of arcades. Total petrol station has been replaced by 2 arcades, Totali and French Plaza. These developments, however, have been met with mixed reactions.
I
think it's a good idea to shift some of the petrol stations to different areas and put up buildings, because a building like this, it accommodates a lot of people.
Traffic jam and congestion is now daily sight in downtown Kampala, and this is blamed on poor planning and to some large extent greed.
Kitegeeza abo bannannyini kukwasa mateeka ekizimbe ekyo kireme kubeera mu kkubo be bakwata ekyojja mu miro ekizimbe ne kisobola okubeerawo.
But why do people rush for space in new buildings?
Sometimes we come to these new buildings because there's a lot of hope in these new buildings, and even the streets matter. So sometimes with these old buildings where they are located, so when we look at these new buildings and the location, we come to these buildings because of the location, and we try out our business.
Thanks to the new structures being erected, owners of old buildings have now decided to give their structures a facelift in order to stay in business. Meanwhile, most arcades along the non-motorized transport corridor are dusty with no pavers. This is being attributed to the ongoing road construction works on Namirembe Road. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
We'll now take a very short break, but when we come back, we'll be looking at what's happening in the world of business. Stay with us.
Money School Pay. Dial *185 hash, select option 6, school fees, select option 2, school pay, select option 1, pay fees, enter student number, enter the amount, enter the PIN number to complete payment. Beat the back-to-school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, police in Lyantonde has vowed to crack down on criminal elements in the district to promote peaceful coexistence among the populace. And now the Lyantonde District Police Commander Didas Byarhanga appeals to the general public to avail information regarding any form of criminality. Now, this was during a visit to the recent murder scene by the Director of Criminal Investigation Directorate, Grace Akulo.
Katiaza Trading Center in Nakasozi-Kinuna Sub-County in Lyantonde District is where 3 people were recently shot dead by unknown assailants. The act has since attracted public attention, prompting the Director Criminal Investigations Department, Grace Akulo, to visit the scene. A closed-door meeting was held to chart a way forward in ensuring smooth investigations and perhaps prevent similar incidents in future.
Police is doing what it takes and other security agencies in the district and the region to investigate and make sure we arrest these culprits.
It is not clear what was arrived at in the meeting, but the director's appearance was enough to breathe a sigh of relief among the residents. The LC3 chairperson, Serukera Jackson, appeals to government to deploy more LDUs for night patrols.
I'm requesting the government, particularly the police, the army, security personnel, because our people are on tension, at least to recruit local defense force so that they can make patrols in the night.
District Police Commander Lyantonde, Didas Byarhanga, says the visit of the Director CID is timely.
We have gotten reinforcement from the region and from police headquarters, as we have seen, and hopefully we are going to get these criminals. And she has come to help us continue with investigations and also guide here and there. And as we have seen, so far there is some big step.
The said killings occurred on Friday morning at 2 a.m. where assailants stormed Katiaza Trading Center, gunning down 3 people. The visit by the CID director could be a ray of hope that the culprits will be brought to book.
Thank you so much. And now let's have a look at what's happening in the world of business. And we have the first Qatar trade mission to Uganda is underway in the capital, Kampala, to leverage business opportunities and strategic engagements. Local companies will meet the Qatar delegation tomorrow at Sheraton Hotel in Kampala, as we hear in this report.
Comprising 15 Qatar companies from varying sectors and service industry, seeks to partner with Ugandan companies for special business interaction. The Ugandan ambassador to Qatar, Simon Ajiku, says Uganda is reducing trade imbalance between the two countries.
There's a trade imbalance in favor of Qatar, obviously. I'd like to urge Ugandans, businesses, to take advantage of this trade mission in order to pursue beneficial engagements. I can assure you that the embassy can be directly approached even by the Ugandan businesses to be able to push forward your interests.
According to the Acting Director General, Uganda Investment Authority, Lawrence Biensi, Qatar coming on board is to increase Uganda's investment.
We believe and we know that this is the only route we are going to enhance both trade on one hand, but also investment on the other hand.
Executive Director, Qatar Development Bank, Hamadi Majega, bank pledged maximum support to Uganda's business community.
With what our country has to offer to the Ugandan market, specifically in terms of fast-moving consumer goods, construction products, food products, pharmaceuticals, and medical supplies, packaging and logistics, and much more.
Private sector is expected to be influential in Qatar-Uganda trade mission, and it is encouraged to attend for knowledge sharing.
Challenge that the Ugandan private sector will have, especially on a B2B, because we are going to be having B2Bs. I think tomorrow and the day after, business to business, to try and understand what works and what doesn't work across.
It is expected the trade mission will offer both Uganda and Qatar business representatives in the private sector exposure to potential opportunities. Abdul Nasili Luwama for UBC News.
Sports news now, and we'll look at weightlifting, where Uganda is hosting the 2019 African Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championship at Imperial Royal Hotel here in Kampala. And as we hear from our sports reporter John Barnes Sentamo, the championship that has attracted 10 countries is an Olympics qualifier.
Uganda's team at the ongoing African Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championship in Kampala is performing to expectations. On day one, more than 12 medals have been realized by Ugandans, with Davis Nyoita bagging 6 gold medals in his 55-kilogram category of both snatch and clean and jerk. Hamdan Lutaya Serwanga in the 61-kilogram category has scooped 6 medals, with 3 silvers from the youth category and 3 bronze medals from the junior category.
This is a very big achievement as we are preparing for the Olympics Tokyo 2020, and this is my second time to participate in the qualifiers. My first qualifiers were in USA at the Youth World Weightlifting Championships in Las Vegas and in March 2019, and this is a very big credit. Yeah.
The other Ugandan with medals on day one is Joseph Sekitoreko, whose 3 bronze medals were from his 67-kilogram category. The tournament, whose age categories are classified as 13 to 17 for youth and 18 to 20 for juniors, has witnessed a new record set. The most notable record was by Egyptian Abdelghani Ahmed, who first set 155 kilograms in the 67-kilogram category and baited it with 160 kilograms. His exploits, plus that of Mauritian William Gwendol in the 49-kilogram category, elated Uganda Olympic Committee President William Blake.
It's a qualification pathway for the Olympic Games for Tokyo 2020. And I'm very honored to witness an African championship record being broken by the fantastic lifter from Egypt. Congratulations to Egypt for showing us the way.
Uganda is represented by 5 men, including Robert Bukenya and Lawrence Lutu in the 73-kilogram category at the championship. There are participants from countries like South Africa, Swaziland, Algeria, Madagascar, Botswana, and Ghana. Action continues and climaxes on Tuesday with the women contesting 76, 81, and 87-kilogram categories, while the men will be at it in the 89, 96, 102, and 109 kilograms. John Barnes, Centum, reporting.
And that sports story brings us almost to the end of this bulletin. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, police arrest 3 prime suspects in Nigerian murder. The government to spend 1.7 trillion shillings to decongest Kampala city. Elsewhere in the world, the South Sudan peace deal, Sudanese rivals to meet in Juba. And in sports, records tumble as Uganda dominates weightlifting championship. Thank you so much for having kept us company. Do remember that our next bulletin comes your way at 10 p.m. here on UBC TV. But up next, here on UBC TV is a business roundup with Wadulo Mark Arnold. I'll see you later at 10 p.m.
Up next on UBC, brought to you by...
Make calls from Airtel to all networks at 3 shillings per second.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Electoral Commission has released